an opportunity here, and we've got our first goal of the match.
Leaves it to Ramsey to make it 3-0.
Welcome to Game 2 of our Monday doubleheader here in the Copa Paulino Alcantara, and what a matchup we have here for you tonight. A crucial encounter between the Azkals development team, who are preparing for the SEA Games, and Maharlika Manila FC, who are back in action after a month away from the game. The two teams are all set to get started, and we are ready for the action for you here in Carmona, Cavite. Jing Hamlang bringing you the action alongside Daniel Hartman. Daniel, I messed up your name, Darren. How could I get that
right, no
wrong? We've done so many games together. This is unbelievable. Darren Hartman is with me, and he is the expert here with me today to break down the action between ADT and Maharlika Manila. Darren, how excited are you for this game?
Well, it looks as if we've got a classic mid-table clash on our hands. The points are going to be so important, considering that earlier game where Cebu have picked up their first ever win at this level, and that has really put a little bit of pressure on both ADT and Maharlika to try to keep themselves in that top four. So when the crossover comes at the end of the league, they're in the semi-finals of this Copa.
Extremely tight in the standings, especially in that middle section, as you mentioned, and Dynamic Herb Cebu pulling off an amazing upset to start things off today, setting the tone for an exciting day of football. And when you look at the two teams that we have right now, ADT, it's been a mixed bag for them. You know, they've had a win, a draw, and a loss. And meanwhile, when you're looking over at Maharlika, they've had that one win over Mendiola, and they've had some losses against some of the big boys in this competition, but they look a lot more competitive in this edition of the competition. How do you see things for them in this match against ADT?
Well, you would say in terms of their running towards the end of this single round robin, Maharlika are actually in a good position because they've taken points from Mendiola and they've played against the two stronger teams in the league. So in terms of their preparation and what they can do with this squad now, they can actually start pushing now and just taking points off the mid-table teams, and that should be enough, especially with, you know, the likes of the three Clarinia brothers playing alongside each other, and of course you've got other players there who are joining in the mix, and it's a really nice setup. There's a lot of passion, and you can see that they're just up for the game. Just from the warm-up, they're up for this game, and they're going to be looking to take 3 points.
Gary Epeso up top alongside King Sum Min. It looks like it's going to be a very attacking lineup for Maharlika here, and a very physical one at that. And it's going to be something that Jaime Rosquillo and the rest of the gang will have to deal with here as we look at the starting lineup for ADT.
And we're talking about attacking lineups. This is also quite an attacking lineup because they have Campo, Martini Ray and Oliver Bias all on the pitch at the same time with Dennis Chong. So ADT have not really had the luxury, but they've had the luxury of time to prepare for the SEA Games, and that means that they've had a lot of changes in their starting 11 over the last 3 games. So for these players to go out now, I think they'll be getting slightly closer to the team that will be playing in the SEA Games, but of course the substitutions are going to play a big part of that, and we know that ADT have had a couple of signings as well that will be joining in from overseas that won't be featuring in this game, but it's going to be really interesting. The first half will play out, and I'm sure that a lot of these players will feature because the points will be very important today.
Now, this might be the closest thing we have to a preview to the SEA Games team that will be competing in Vietnam very, very soon. So this is an opportunity to get that glimpse of how this Philippine side might suit up in Vietnam. Meanwhile, for Maharlika Manila, after a month away, how does that affect you guys going into this match against a young ADT side?
Well, it's going to be about the way that they sustained the tempo but allowed for the fatigue management, because Maharlika's schedule before their little break was pretty intense, especially considering the calibre of the games that they played and the amount of work that they put into those games in terms of distance covered. And of course, it's a slightly older team than some of the other teams in this competition, so they'll be feeling fresh, and as long as they can sustain the momentum that they had in their last game, it's going to be a very interesting battle between these two teams.
It's an intriguing matchup between Maharlika Manila and the Azkals development team. When we return, it'll be first half action between the two. Don't go anywhere.
And now, the moment we have all been waiting for. Let us welcome the teams of Azkals Development Team and Maharlika Manila FC.
Welcome back. Both teams on the pitch now. ADT and Maharlika Manila about to get underway here. Quick look at Jeng Osman, who is the captain of Maharlika Manila. They're going to be putting together a pretty formidable side here against the young men of the Azkals development team. Some familiar faces there, some holdovers from last season, but a lot of these new players are really just getting their feet wet at this high level over the last 4 games or so. You see the Clarino brothers there, all 3 of them present in the starting lineup. Michael Menzi retaining his spot as well, and Daniel Saavedra is making his debut. A man from UP. As we take a look at the match officials, Mick John Pineda will be leading our group today. Meliton Pelayo is as the 4th official, and our assistants Paul Galicia and Ryan Clores. So it's going to be Quincy Camirad who wears the armband for ADT in this game. And when you look out onto the pitch, it's a real physical side that Maharlika have put out today. It's going to be an interesting challenge for this young side of ADT. How do you see things playing out early on here, Darren?
Well, I think in the first 15 minutes, Maharlika will be looking to make sure that, number one, they stamp a physical presence on the game, being the older and more mature team. And I think that ADT will probably try to start the game off with a huge amount of tempo and bring the game to Maharlika, but not without getting lots of touches on the ball and trying to settle into a good rhythm early on in the game. Nevertheless, I'm pretty sure when this whistle blows, it will be a very intense battle between these two teams.
Both sides looking to rebound from losses in their previous outing. It was a 4-0 defeat to Kaya in ADT's last outing, a draw prior to that to Stallion, a loss to UCFC, and they started off the campaign in positive fashion with a 3-0 victory over Mendiola, but that was well back in March 28. Meanwhile, for Maharlika, it was an opening day loss to Kaya, a win against Mendiola in dramatic fashion, and then a loss to UCFC, which was rather heavy, a 4-0 loss, but that was on the back of, what was it, 3 games in 14 days? For the Maharlika side, so they've had a great rest now, and now it's anybody's ball game for these two sides looking to pick on 3 points in what is a crucial mid-table battle. And here we are, underway. So we heard earlier on that there's going to be 3 up top for Maharlika Manila. It's an early test as well from Kim, making sure Quincy Camirad was alert and alive, and he was.
That's a good snapshot to start the game off and show your intentions. And now ADT able to just get on the ball. A little bit of rotations, try to settle it down and get everyone an early touch on the ball.
Difficult ball to control. Over on the right side. Bypassing the midfield. Usman getting support from Gino Clarino. I think with 3 Clarinos on the pitch, I think it'll be better to just call them by their first names there.
I think so. They're all good football players as well. All bring something a little bit different to the team.
Caloocaran. Naghahanap ng spasyo sa left side. Able to deliver a ball into the box. It's over his intended target. Finally brought down by Ocampo. Can he keep it in? Yes, he does. Woods. Switching it over to the opposite flank. Caloocaran. Osman with a clearance. Positive start here for ADT to start things off. Able to find room. Early ball. Kim. Laying it off for Gary Epeso. Going to be amongst the individuals to look out for today. He's a big man, Gary Epeso. A real physical presence here for Maharlika. And there was the coming together. Playback underway here as Usman looks to deliver the ball into Epeso. And that's going to go out for a goal kick. Glad to see so many people tuned in over YouTube and Facebook. Ray McKinnon is joining us. Longtime fan of Philippine football. Ching Francisco, of course. Paul Garcia. Anton Shecker. Hey. John Agapito as well. Shout out to the folks who are supporting us over YouTube and Facebook. Great to be online and being watched all over the world. Offside flag was up.
And ADT have done nothing wrong there. The 2 forward men that were looking to get onto that through pass just drifting offside, and will have to just adjust their runs a little bit. I mean, the Maharlika back four is not the quickest back four in the league, so they've just got to hold their runs a little bit and get their timing right. But it's good build-up play from ADT early in the game.
Gets past Lawless there. Miggy Clarino ran into some trouble. And it loses possession. Sloppy from the throw in. OJ Clarino fouled on the play. ADT able to settle in just a little bit quicker in this game. Fong. Usman under pressure immediately, and it pays off.
Yeah, that pass was a little bit telegraphed there, and it was read by ADT and able to press. That's what a young team will do. Setting up a nice little defensive trap there and able to press Maharlika into giving the ball away.
Martini Ray, ibinalik kay Rosquillo under pressure but did well. Malaking bagay din para dito sa ADT na nakabalik na si Jaime Rosquillo. He's a young man but plays like a veteran. They need that stability at the back. He played his football with Cebu last year but has been a bit of a revelation over the last year or so. Federico Alegre. Kasama niya si Lance Ocampo. He's pushing it forward and Usman shuts the door. Good to see Lance Ocampo back in action. Missed out on a few of the games. The referee calling that as a foul. A little too meaty in the challenge there was Daniel Saavedra. Ito makikita natin ulit. High boot there from Saavedra. Reckless in the challenge. So free kick here, given up in a dangerous area. 2 players over it. Woods with his left foot. Oliver Bias over it as well. Bias's delivery. Usman with a header away. Ocampo finds himself on the left side. Woods. Ray forced backwards. Rosquillo looking to get it forward there, and that goes out for a goal kick. Azkals' development team, of course, have been busy figuring out the right formula that they will use in the upcoming SEA Games. So they've been chopping and changing the lineup quite a bit, utilizing different approaches as well. Darren, you've had an opportunity, and as an opportunity has arrived here for Chong. Dennis Chong stays on his feet. Maharlika able to breathe. Menzi just launching it forward. Clarino. OJ losing it there. Whistle is blown. And you've had an opportunity, Darren, to see this ADT side develop over the last few games. What do you think is the best approach for them and the best lineup that you've seen so far?
Well, the lineup that they have out at the moment is pretty good. I mean, in terms of being settled on the ball and having a little bit more team chemistry. You have to remember it's a different side that played in the last outing in the Copa. So I like the way that they're recycling the ball. The communication's been better. They missed Rosquillo in the last game. That was apparent. But it looks as if now they're kind of settled. I mean, we have to understand what they're playing for. They're playing for an opportunity to represent the Philippines in the SEA Games. And, of course, the squad was big. You know what comes with big squads. There are cuts and a lot of pressure. And I feel that today, perhaps the first hurdle has been passed, as the team is already leaving on Wednesday for a couple of friendlies before they go on to represent in the SEA Games. So perhaps with that little bit of pressure being taken off this particular group of players, they're able to play a little bit more freely. And I'm liking what I see at the moment, Jing.
There is a free kick to defend for ADT, though, as David Basa sends this one in to the edge of the box. And that sails high for Gino Clarino. Couldn't pass up on the opportunity. It bounced out in front of him. Decided to take a crack at it, but
I think we need a new football. That's a good pass.
Van Decken fall off his line very quickly. Offside flag was up very quickly as well. But what a chance that was for Lance Ocampo. Wasn't on target in the end, however.
Well, you could just see how quick Lance is there and reacted very quickly to the pass over the top. And it's something that they've been working on, I believe, in training. They've got an abundance of pace. You've got Lance Ocampo, Dennis Chong and Oliver Bias, and none of those boys are slow. So it's a nice attacking three that they have at the moment. And of course, if they can get the timing right, they could be causing Maharlika problems.
And the banggit mo nga, speed, not exactly the strength of this Maharlika back line.
And I think Maharlika are either believing in themselves more or showing ADT a little bit less respect than what they showed Kaya in United City, because
Right now, the
it was offside. I was just going to say that their defensive line is much higher. If you can remember the Kaya game, I'm not sure if you watched the Kaya games, Jing, but if you can remember the Kaya game, Maharlika was sat a lot deeper.
Yeah.
So probably a little bit more belief, or perhaps just trying to bring their experience and a little bit less respect for this ADT team. But I'm sure as the game ticks on, they will start dropping their lines a little bit deeper. So perhaps ADT should be a little bit more clinical with this pass forwards and get themselves ahead early before Maharlika drop their lines a little bit deeper, because it will happen.
Jeremy Darapan got a taste of space there in behind. He'll be looking to capitalize on that moving forward. Clarino turns into trouble. Usman taking over. Confidence from the center back, and he stayed up as well. Epeso gets it back. Racing towards the box. Saavedra. And that will be harmlessly out. Playing quickly is ADT. BS looking for options. Again, that would have been offside, and ADT just need to watch their lines a little bit better.
And it's nice to see another team really continuing on from the other games that we've seen, and tactically have been well prepared for these games. And in that counter-attack, ADT had, I think, 4 or 5 players forwards, which is more than enough options. It just happened that the quality of the pass there was just a little bit overhit, and they're still trying to work out a little bit of their timing.
Woods on the turn. Gets it back. Maharlika cutting out the options on the flank. It falls nicely here. Chance to breathe for ADT. Early ball. Not on the same wavelength there. Dennis Chung, the intended target. Confidence here from Maharlika to play out from the back, and that's good range shown by Michael Menzi. Epeso unable to bring it down. Look at Norman Fijidero, who will be leading ADT this year.
I think Maharlika are struggling a little bit with mobility in the higher thirds of the field. I mean, it's great to have all that physical presence and strength, but against this young, nippy side, sometimes you need to be able to go toe-to-toe for them as well in terms of agility. That's a bad tackle.
Ouchies. Came from behind. Martini racing, he got the ball. Mick John disagreeing with him, but not willing to give any extra punishment.
Well, I'm pretty sure that Daniel Saavedra would have played against Martini Ray in the UEAP, and of course that's FEU against UP, so there will be no love lost there at all.
Caloocaran just about able to save it. No. Rather sloppy there from the Azkals development team. Unforced error from them. Trying to work themselves out from the back. Basa. Looking for the overlapping run of Usman. He's just unable to connect there. That's the second time that the ball was just agonizingly out of reach. And as we take a look at the crowd that is forming here, great to see. Some of the Kaya side is actually in the stands as well, enjoying the action. Good to see a lot of neutrals in the stands as well. Three offsides already for the Azkals development team, and each time it looked like they would have been in on goal.
Yeah, a little bit of tempo's died out of the game. ADT with a couple of unforced errors there. I mean, that's the problem when you're really developing a team and you're looking to play a very complete style of football. Of course, those mistakes really do hit you, especially when they're in the defensive third. You get stuck in, the tempo dies, and you've got to build yourself back into the game.
Good defending there from ADT to clear their lines. Lawless. Much further up the pitch than we normally see him. Stops the counter-attack here. Bandek Fong launches it. Caloocaran unable to keep it in. And very quickly, over a third of this opening period already done and dusted. Kim winning the header. Clarino, OJ Clarino that is. Forceful tackle from behind, and Martini Reyes feeling it. Ocampo. He's just about to hit the turbos, but couldn't get the ball out of his feet.
Yeah, a little bit more communication there needed when the ball was rolled through from the right back. I mean, having coached Lance myself in that situation, just roll it in the space. Just let him get his legs open, and then that's see you later to the left back. So, again, it's just going to come down to communication. I think they've got this game, and then they've got another couple of games before the C game. So, it's definitely better than the first game that we saw them, even the first half that we saw them featuring in this cup campaign. So, plenty of positives to take. But really, it's when you get it right and there's an end product and there's a goal, like we saw in Kaya's last outing. You know, all the efforts that you put in training, they don't just pay off. It gives the coach the opportunity to really reinforce good passes and good passage of play when there's an end product.
Real opportunity here. BS feeding Ocampo, but it was just behind the young attacker. Alegre races past his man. Got acres of room to deliver a good ball here. Right in front of goal. Still not out of the woods here, Maharlika. Saavedra. Looking to release the pressure, but ADT are staying right on top of them. Medyo nahihirapan ang makalabas dito ang Maharlika from their own half. Ray. They're going to ping it in behind. Chong. Muscled out by Usman.
And we can see now that Maharlika's lines have already been forced back. They got pinned in a little bit there, Maharlika.
Just like you called, Darren. Expected them to eventually drop a little bit deeper here. And they're settled into their comfort zone now. Onus on ADT to break them down. Nice little battle there between Caloocaran and Kim, or rather OJ. ADT winning the whistle. We see it here. OJ just a little bit behind. Arm went across. In behind. No flag. Lance Ocampo, can he bury it? No. Just wide.
And that was a good opportunity there. This time beating the offside trap. Lovely weighted pass, just dink through. And then he's got the option there to shoot. or just to roll the ball across the front of the goal. And sometimes you get caught in two minds, and I think that's exactly what happened there.
In between a shot and a cross there, wala kay Lance Ocampo, but it's been bubbling, that move. Getting in behind this Maharlika defense, finally they've made it work, and they very nearly converted with a goal. Wasted opportunity there for Maharlika. And that was the first real opening that we've seen in this game, Darren.
It's been the first real clear-cut opportunity for either side. And as ADT build up, we will most likely see Maharlika just slow down the tempo a little bit. But of course, don't worry about that taken away from the game. Maharlika are very good counter-attacking. They do have the personnel as well to do that. And of course, their bench has got plenty of pace.
It's an interesting problem that ADT is facing here. Not too often that they're going to go up against a back five and a low block like this. So it's a whole new challenge for them.
So I was saying, when Maharlika had that really high line, they should have really tried to push and capitalise early in this game, because Maharlika are difficult to break down. I mean, against Minjola, when they went down to 10 men, they managed to set up a really good defensive block and fight themselves back into the game. And then again against United City, it was a fantastic defensive display. Oh, sorry, against Kaya, it was a fantastic defensive display.
Tarapan might fall nicely here. Olibias buries it for ADT. There's the opener. Halfway through the opening period, ADT have been knocking on the door, and finally they've banged it open.
But just as I was saying about their defensive displays, their defence was just split apart there. Perhaps a bit of luck with the ricochet just when he broke through, but he was driving, and that happens. But when the pass was made, it was a good weight of pass to Oli Bias, and Oli Bias had plenty of pace to get in and around Lawless. And if you just look in the box, you could see Dennis Chong side by side with Oliver Bias, and that just makes it so difficult for a goalkeeper, even a goalkeeper of this quality. And they also had other options too on the edge of the box, so it's a fantastic little counter-attack goal for ADT, and they will take loads of confidence from that.
Got a feel for David Basa there, put in the tackle. Pero napaganda pa para kay Oli Bias. Fell perfectly into his path. There's no mistake from the veteran of ADT. If there was anybody on this side that you wanted that ball to fall to, Oli Bias was definitely the top candidate.
I would say with those little slip passes there, Oli Bias is the person you want on the ball, and I think when things fall a little short in the box, it's that man you want there, Dennis Chong, because he's so good at picking passes in and around that area.
Ocampo going for goal, direct, and just like that, the goal tally has doubled here for ADT. It's gone from bad to worse very quickly.
Well, I was going to say, I've heard rumours that ADT have been scoring a lot of goals in their training sessions and in their little build-up games, and you can see why. They're very attacking, and of course, there's more quality and depth in the ADT squad that we don't see present on camera. It's a real good coming together of other PFL clubs, and you have players the likes of Sandro Reyes, the likes of Oskari Kekkonen training with these boys, and they learn from that. And you can just see there Lance Ocampo just capitalising on the quality of the pass from Dennis Chong. And it's gone from a close game to a game where ADT now find themselves 2-0 up.
Interesting little mind game that was played there with Lance Ocampo and Bandeken Fong. You saw Lance Ocampo square the ball earlier when he had the chance. This time he left his first post, and Lance Ocampo said, "Thank you very much."
And that is Lance Ocampo's second goal of this campaign as well. So he's having a good season, considering he missed the last campaign in the Copa because of a slight hamstring tear. And I believe that will be his first goal in front of his mother. His mum is watching today.
Oh, look
Miss
at that.
Miss Wowie is watching. So
what a perfect time to score. Be pleased with that, and even more pleased with the fact that they've got a 2-goal cushion here very early in this game. Still 4 minutes to the half-hour mark, and already 2-0 up. And Maharlika seemingly losing a bit of their focus here. A few of the shoulders slumped after that second goal came in. But still plenty of time for Maharlika to find their way back into this game. We've seen them come from behind before and turn things around with an entire deck stacked against them.
That's one thing I can say about Maharlika. They've got a fantastic attitude towards the game, and I'm sure that they will build themselves back in. But at the moment, they've got to do a little bit of work on their shape, just try to track the runners a little bit better.
Chance here, Kim Sung-min giving chase. But enough for Quincy Camirad to come out. Woods looking to spread it. Ocampo looking for help. Darapan over on his left foot. Just wide. Looks like it took a touch on the way out. It's going to be a corner kick. Able to carve out some extra room there with that little turn. Confidence building for ADT. BS giving way to Woods. Looks like they're opting for a left footer on this one. And already a trio of players warming up here for Maharlika. We may see some early changes from this side. Roskillo was looking to attack that ball into the hands now of Bandek Fong, who's looking to release quickly. And that's going to be too much for Kim to chase.
It looks as if they had set up their tactics around building up through Kim. It makes sense on paper. Experienced, strong centre forward that can hold the ball up, but they just haven't been able to put quality passes into him to do that. And the reason is that ADT have enjoyed 62% of the possession so far.
Chung. Looks like he lost his shin guards there. BS looking to return it to Chung. Still ADT with possession here. Ray gets it to Woods. And the touch wasn't great from Lance Ocampo, otherwise he would have been free on the right side. Basa under pressure. Used this frame well initially to shield Lance Ocampo, but sends it straight back here to ADT. Chong losing it. Saavedra assessing his options. OJ over to his brother Miggy. Again, hinahanap talaga nila yung over-the-top na bola para kay Kim Sung-min. But ADT alert to the danger.
See, I'm not so sure that Kim's quick enough to do that. I mean, not against 2 or 3 very young centre-backs that have been hand-selected across the country because they're there to fulfill a role. Roskillo is not slow. So perhaps they need to be looking at a different way to get it into their number 9 and then bringing other players forwards to join in.
Usman. Lawless. He's got his head up. Looking for the ball forward. ADT again dealing with the challenge well. And it's It's going to be a yellow card on Miggy Clarino, who expressed a bit of frustration there at the end against Caloocaran. You can see he's a little disappointed with himself there. It's a cheap one to give away. You see there, quick apology from Miggy Clarino. Not where you want to be picking up yellow cards, especially as a defender. He's going to be walking the tightrope now. And he's dealing with some difficult characters as well on that side. Quincy Cameron's going to want that one back. But ADT able to walk away with it here. Gino showed a little too much. And now ADT are going to play the ball out here as one of their teammates is in some extreme pain here. Took a real hit coming together there with Miggy Clarino. Looked like a painful one when it happened.
I think this will be a welcome break for Maharlika, just an opportunity to let the tempo die down in the game.
It was a poor touch that got him into trouble, Gino Clarino, and then it was compounded with a stomp there on Darpan. Jeremy looks like he's able to shake it off though, and will be able to continue. Wasn't pretty on the replay though, Darren.
That was a pretty bad tackle. That but of course, at this sort of level, you can't ask to come off the pitch either, because there are going to be so many people on the bench who will be waiting for an opportunity just to step in there and, you know, do a job and show the coaching staff that they can do a better job than you.
Clever ball forward to BS. And now it's off to the races. Darpan gets it to Chong. First touch. Let him down a little bit there. Dennis Chong looking to find Ray. Ocampo took advantage. BS! Oof. So close.
Deflection.
Crucial deflection as it turns out, as it's going to be a corner kick here, and it was not very far away from being on target.
I think I've been really nice to the officials all the games that I've covered so far, but I think on that occasion he was offside and the linesman was not up with play because that was so quick. I mean, come here and watch and you'll see in person how quick that counter-attack was. Sometimes it's not covered when the camera's panning. So quick, that counter-attack.
ADT finding their groove now, and Darapan with another collision there. This time OJ winning the whistle.
I just took a little glance over to the referee's assistant and he's actually breathing heavy.
It's been a quick game. Oof. Darapan and OJ getting entangled. Closing in on 10 minutes remaining in this opening period. Gino able to drift in and pick the pocket of Ocampo. Pulled the trigger a little bit too early there. Epeso was still making his run. Mark Tobias under a bit of pressure here. Didn't see Epeso was lurking. Gino against 3. A bit too much there. He's looking to dribble through a crowd. 10 minutes remaining in our opening period. ADT enjoying a nice cushion here in our first half. Great to have so many tuned in on this Monday night. The likes of John Ortiz, Christian Marco, Daniel Romero, Ralph Tapor, Linjo Domingo, who's watching from Riyadh. Wow. Edward Refundo as well, who is tuned in from Chicago. Amazing to have a global audience here tonight. We had folks listening in and tuned in from London as well, all over the Philippines. We had Bienve in Malaysia. So it's great to have the Philippine football community from all over the world tuned into this action.
And I hope they're enjoying this display from ADT. I mean, there's still a few things that they need to work out. Producing, some good passages of play, some very direct passes. But it's getting there. And of course, there's never the end when it's Maharlika. We've seen them come back from being, one man down. So you just have to settle back into their rhythm. We have to remember that Maharlika haven't featured in the game for a few weeks now. So a few adjustments to their system that they may not have been able to test out yet. But there are plenty of options on the bench should they need to freshen things up in the second half. Main thing now, Jing, is that they don't concede anymore this half.
Those two UAAP boys getting entangled once again. Martini Ray winning out against Daniel Saavedra. Martini Ray amongst the revelations here of this young side over the last few games. A lot of energy and quality from the young man. Good ball forward and another lovely pass. Van Decken Fong out just in time as Dennis Chung was looking to capitalize.
Great little interchange high up the pitch there from ADT. Good running off the ball again, breaking the offside trap of Maharlika. They're getting caught a little bit flat at the back. I think they're trying to perhaps catch these younger players offside. You have to remember that the pedigree of Dennis Chong and Oliver Bias, they've played at academy level at a really, really high level in Europe. So the movement's been good, and Maharlika just need to try to tighten things up and put in a little bit of that extra work rate that we're so accustomed to seeing from them.
Saavedra with just a little bit of a clumsy challenge there that led to the foul. It's been a challenging evening for him so far in this midfield. I talked about the physicality of this match, and so far ADT have risen to the challenge. They certainly haven't allowed the physicality of the game to put them off their game. Rosquillo called for the foul. Not going to be too disappointed there as he gives it away in a rather tame territory. Good experience for Jaime Rosquillo, being able to mix it up with Kim Sung-min. Deep free kick here for Maharlika. Let's quick look at Jongkil Kim, who is the head coach here of Maharlika. His counterpart Norman Fijidero. And that delivery just over. It's just not clicking so far for Maharlika in this half.
Yeah, there's been personnel change, 2 or 3 new faces introduced into this starting 11, and I think they're just lacking that little bit of cohesion that they had built in the last 2 or 3 games that they had. That's normal, but of course when you're looking at things across the bigger picture, I feel that Maharlika have definitely got a really good selection of players out on the pitch. They just have to really work out completely what their roles and responsibilities are and how they're going to link it all together.
Final 5 minutes of our opening period here. Looking for Martini Ray. And now Maharlika have an opportunity here to build on something. Epeso. Clarino gets past. Gets it back. Chance on the left flank. Can he put in a good ball? Basa has gone up as well. And he's run out of real estate.
I cannot remember the last time that David Bassa was that high up the pitch. I can say that I've known Bassa for a long time.
Misplaced pass there from Alegre. Hinahanap na sana nila yung outlet pass sa taas. You mentioned earlier that Maharlika did get a win coming from behind and a man down as well in that game. So they have that capability to turn a game on its head. Menzi almost snuck through there to Kim. Ray gets it out wide. Darpan loses it. Menzi takes the contact, earns the whistle, and they're going to play it quickly. Ball into the box, and that's over. The crowd in the middle. Frustration now starting to show from Kim Sung-min, who's not had the service he's been looking for.
There's been a few wayward passes over the last couple of minutes from both teams. Perhaps just showing a little sign of tiredness towards the end of this first half. The game did get stretched for long periods, and it just needs to be a little bit more tidy.
Kamerad launches it forward. Dealt with well by Basa and Osman. Loose touch from Rosquillo. Oof. Looking for the run there of Kim Sung-min. Did not anticipate that pass was going to come in so quickly. Woods looking to restore a bit more calm. Chung dispossessed. Alegre just launching that into the sidelines. Peso favored to win that battle against Alegre, but he loses the ball. Ray getting entangled here with Peso. It looks like there might be a bit of a talking to with Gary Peso here. You took it. Look at that. Coming together. And then taps Ray on the head as well. And that's going to be a final warning for Gary Peso. Final moments of this opening period now. Maharlika just starting to find some rhythm now.
Yeah, Maharlika just try to take advantage of ADT making a few bad passes over the last 5 or 6 minutes and build a little bit of rhythm themselves and go into half-time feeling good about the way that they've played.
But they've got to survive this attack from ADT. Just the solitary minute to be added on. Real moment of danger here to end the first half. Darapan was lurking on the left flank. And now it's going to be a corner kick from Oliver Bias. Five to aim at. It's a good ball in. Rosquillo! Headed away by Basa. Rosquillo will get a second crack at it here. Delivers the ball. Away by Basa. That's going to be a handball. It might be the end of proceedings here in this half. And there it is, halftime whistle being blown here by Mick John Pineda, as it has been an impressive first half for the young guns of the Azkals development team. Able to deal with the challenge of Maharlika Manila, got their noses in front, doubled their lead, and have been playing altogether quite nicely here, Darren.
Yeah, it's been a good first half from both of the sides, but it's really been the Azkals development team which have looked better going forwards, and Maharlika at times just haven't really been able to settle into their formation and into their game flow. So I'm not sure whether or not it's a 2-0 game, but if we were going to base it on opportunities created, yes, Azkals development team deserve to be 2-0 up.
Oliver Bias opened the scoring, Lance Ocampo able to double it. Both players heavily involved in that opening period. As we take a look at some of the highlights, started off very nicely for Maharlika Manila. Nice little snapshot from Kim Sung Min. We thought it would be perhaps a way for them to set the tone, but ADT got their foot into the game and really started to dictate things.
I think really it was just the extra pace that ADT had which was causing the problems. They were able to turn Maharlika's defence around, which were doing well to be brave and keep a high line, and you could just see just the extra pace there. Oliver Bias just putting on a little bit of acceleration to get in and tuck it home for 1-0.
Does that still count as an assist for Darapan? That
we've got a different angle of it here so we can see.
it looked like it ricocheted off of him.
Last touch, he's got to claim it, isn't he?
Lovely finish there from Oli Bias to get them started, and then as we were locked in on Oliver Bias, Lance Ocampo was breaking free on the right side. And it's a clever finish.
And as you said, it was just really the progress that ADT had been making. They had broken through already 2 or 3 times, and Lance had squared one pass, and this time just seeing the near post, and the goalkeeper had to make an adjustment. But then a few opportunities from outside the box, ADT showing that they're not just a team which is willing to try to break down and break through a team. All round attacking wise, ADT have done well.
So that's where it finishes at the break. Azkals development team 2, Maharlika Manila FC 0. We'll be right back.
There's an opportunity here, and we've got our first goal of the match.
Welcome back. It's halftime between the Azkals development team and Maharlika Manila FC. ADT with a nice little cushion as we get set for second half action. Let's take a look back at the 2 goals they scored in that opening period. Olibias starting things off with a clinical finish, and not long after, Lance Ocampo able to break free on the right flank and outsmart Bandek Fong at his near post, and that's where we stand here with 45 minutes remaining. Let's take a look at some of the statistics from that first half. 65-35, Darren. A real domination in terms of possession for ADT.
I think it's been one of those things where ADT haven't been as cohesive on the ball as what they would like, but I don't think that when Maharlika have had the ball, they've had the time to really settle and build from the back. So when Maharlika have had the ball, they've pumped the ball forwards quite quickly, and that's why we're seeing those possession stats. And what's good to see from ADT is the fact that they've created chances, and their chances have been good opportunities to get numbers forwards, and that's why their shot conversion rate being on target has been high as well. So all round ADT will be happy. I think one of the biggest points that ADT will probably like to take from this is, as you said, they have a cushion. So do they have an opportunity now to work on things that they need to work on before they leave for the SEA Games? And of course Maharlika have been in worse positions, I think. So for Maharlika it will be, okay, time to roll up our sleeves and show our fans exactly what we're made of.
ADT will be quite pleased as well that they have not been troubled on the opposite side of the field as well. They've been doing well going forward, but in defense as well, they've been dealing with the threat of Maharlika quite well. But as you said, Maharlika are capable of throwing everything at them here in this second half. They haven't made any changes to this lineup. Are you anticipating that they're going to make quite a few here in the second period? Who would you like to see?
Well, in terms of changes, I'd just like to see perhaps a little bit more pace coming on for Maharlika. ADT, I'm not really sure what they would need to do. Maybe just like for like, perhaps change the formation a little bit and try something new. But when it comes to Maharlika, you can just see in their little team talks and their huddles, they're a real team. And I'm sure that those 11 players who are out there at the moment will be given enough time to try to make amends for conceding 2 goals in the first half. But of course, when you look at Maharlika's bench, they do have players who can contribute going forward, such as Charlie Beaton. I think that Charlie would bring a little bit of experience and a little bit more pace going forwards. And then of course there are players like Julian Devalier, who is most likely maybe on the radar of ADT in the future if they were to prepare for a future SEA game. So if he was to feature on the pitch, he'd probably give the performance of his life, because he knows that that's the coaching staff that he needs to impress if he needs to make the SEA Games in the future.
The last time these two sides met in the PFL in 2020, it was a 5-0 victory for ADT. And Maharlika will be doing everything in their power to avoid such a landslide result. Just waiting on Mick John Pineda to blow the whistle, and here we are underway in the second half. Here at the PFF National Training Center, we are live over the Philippines Football League online platform. So glad you could join us. Jing Hamlang and Darren Hartman calling the Monday Night Football action for you. And ADT in their final match before traveling for SEA Games camp. And that was a dangerous ball right off the bat.
And straight away ADT able to whip the ball into the box. That was a good delivery, and 4 players in the box. Couldn't find anyone and couldn't find a good enough area to attack, but ADT win themselves a corner very early in this second half.
Picking up where they left off in that opening period, Oliver Bias with a delivery here, going near post. He's going to get the ball right back. Great touch. Another dangerous ball. No, that's over the bar. Warning sent early here in the second half by ADT. Maharlika have so much to do here in this second half. Saying hello to Patty Fizbe, Ramil Candido, and JN Berneza, who are all tuned in to the game. Gino Clarino has ventured over to the right side, it seems, for Maharlika. A little bit of a shuffle in their formation. It seems like he's switched sides with his brother OJ, who is now on the left side. A sense of urgency being shown here by Maharlika. They want to get the game going. They want to get the tempo going. Michael Menzi able to get it back. Saavedra taking over. Epeso is there as an outlet. Taking on Tobias. It's a strong challenge from the center back. And that's going to be a little too forceful from Alegre. Much to their dismay, it's going to be a free kick right at the edge of the area here. Mick John Pineda saying that was not a clean tackle from Alegre. And now OJ over the ball.
This will be a good opportunity for Maharlika. I think in terms of height, they have an advantage here. So set pieces, corners from these sorts of areas are going to be a crucial part of the game in this second half.
Can they connect? Headed away. Darapan loses out. Gino dribbles himself into some trouble and loses out. Gino able to win the ball there. And ADT regain possession. Ball over the top for Darapan, and the flag is up on the far side very quickly. Racking up the offsides are the Azkals development team. Just a little bit in front of his marker there, Mickey Clarino, before the pass was played. We talked about potential changes for this Maharlika side. It looks as if they're going to be making an early substitution. Charlie Beaton, I believe, is going to get involved momentarily. Epeso. Ocampo. Shadowed nicely there by Basa, but it's a quick throw in for Chong. Bias loses out. Lawless clears. Strong header from Rosquillo. It was unnecessary as there was a offside infraction. Peso had gone too early and then gotten himself back in an onside position. Looking for the run of Bias. He's quick! But Bandek and Fong a little bit quicker. Menzi looking to spread it, and he does. Got the ball stuck under his feet, and now it's a dangerous moment here, just wide from Dennis Chong. Disaster for Maharlika, but they go unpunished. What a moment for Michael Menzi to lose the ball there. Left his defense wide open. Dennis Chung, he can laugh about it because they're ahead 2 goals, but that was a golden opportunity, Darren.
Yeah, a player of his standard really should be tucking that into the corner. And this is one of the substitutions we spoke about earlier that possibly could help bring a little bit more pace and tempo into this Maharlika side. And that's the introduction of Charlie Beaton.
David Basa makes way for Charlie Yancy Beaton. Signal of intent here from Maharlika Manila. They've taken out a defender and brought on an attacker. Michael Menzi has dropped into the left back position. BS. Looking to cut it back there for Chung. He gets a second crack at it, and he's going to get a corner kick for his troubles.
This could be one of those half strings that stays at 0-0 in the second half, but I feel if ADT get a goal, they might rack up a lot of goals. It's starting to open up a little bit now. But as long as Maharlika can keep it at 0-0 in the second half, that's the mindset that they need to have.
Wonderful strike from Woods. And it sat up nicely for him, but unfortunately for him, it was direct at the keeper. We've already seen Woods' left foot in action in this competition. Scored a fantastic goal against Stallion. They're going to spread it over to Ocampo. They make the connection. Ocampo looking to take on Menzi. Gets past the man. Unfortunate for him, the ricochet is out for a goal kick. And now substitution about to take place for ADT, and that was the final contribution of Lance Ocampo, being replaced now here by Leo Makiling. And there is Ocampo, makes way. Let's take one more look at his handiwork in this match. He's been a very willing outlet here for ADT, and he certainly made that one count in the first half. Mick John Pineda getting involved in the game there. And now we're back in action. Trying to create a bit of pressure here on this back line of ADT. Dealt with it quite nicely. Kalukaran. Darapan. Sobra lang ng konti.
Looks as if he might have tweaked something there, getting after the ball.
Looks like there might be some cramps here for Jeremy Darapan. Just 10 minutes have gone by here in this second period. Already ADT have showed signs of getting close to adding to their tally. Let's look at that chance from Woods earlier. Oof.
Yeah, it was a lovely strike. We've seen him score twice from set pieces, a penalty and a fantastic free kick. And that would have been one hell of a goal to add to his tally as well there. But Maharlika Jing are slowly getting themselves back into this game, you can feel.
Lawless losing his footing at a crucial moment there. Bias. Woods. Bias finds room. Shimmies. Carves out the space and hits the post. Individual brilliance from Oli Bias, and he's going to win a corner kick on top of it. There's going to be a substitution now for ADT as well, as Jeremy Darapan is being replaced by Francis Takardon. It's a good ball in, but Epeso meets it. There's that chance from BS that struck the post. Whew. Did it get a touch from Fong there? Second corner kick. Bendek and Fong with a catch. BS linking in with Chung. It's a great run. It was just a little bit too strong, the pass. Fidel, or rather Francis Takardon, showing the threat he possesses on the overlap.
Yeah, it's going to take him a few minutes though to get warm into the tempo of the game, because he was just asked basically to stand up off the bench and step straight onto the pitch after the injury. So
Olibias. They get through Lawless. Room on the left side. Chance here for Chung. Osman with a crucial intervention. Handball there from Olibias, quite clearly. And Miggy Clarino getting involved with Olibias. He's already been involved in a little bit of a fracas earlier on. Clarino's been booked in this game. Maharlika upset they couldn't play the ball quicker. Let's have a look at it here. Bias coming in against Miggy. Just trying to delay the free kick there as usual. Oli Bias. Our brother Gino trying to play peacemaker there. Whistle going against Maharlika. Frustration building here for Kim Sung Min, who's still looking for his opportunity to really influence this match. Beaten. Nice piece of skill there to turn away from Makiling. And Epeso has gone a little too early. And he's kicked out as well. And he's going to earn a yellow card for that expression of frustration. Epeso being called for a yellow card.
I'd like to see that one again, Jing, because that was very, very close. And Maharlika just feel that they've been on the wrong side of the decisions over the last 5-10 minutes. But that was given for high foot, if it was given for anything.
So far, the experiment of having Kim Sung-min and Gary Peso lead the line from Maharlika hasn't really paid off quite yet.
I think Kim's just such a good football player on the ball that I don't personally like to see him isolated from the play. I like to see him much further, much deeper, and getting on the ball and making things happen.
Rather difficult to see in that angle whether or not he was offside. As of course, what matters is your positioning at the point of the pass. So if you are behind the defensive line at the point of the pass, then you are offside. We didn't get a chance to see where he was exactly before receiving the ball. And now, to add to Maharlika's woes, their captain, Usman Jeng, might be in need of a replacement here, as he is receiving treatment on the pitch now. Might just be some cramps here for the center back. It's been that kind of game for Maharlika. A lot of the cautions they've received are really not from tackles, Darren.
I think just showing signs of frustration. They've been asked to do a lot of work off the ball for very few moments really on the ball, and sometimes it just builds up and they just really need a moment which will spark a little bit of that Maharlika spirit that we're really used to seeing.
Little stop start there, giving him the room, and that's a fantastic opportunity. Takardon said he was pulled. He's going to be booked for a dive. He can't believe it.
I mean, I don't want to sound harsh here, but it's the way that he's gone down. And I've seen him do that in other games as well that he's played. And if you do that at this level, the referee is automatically going to think that you're simulating the dive. There was definitely contact. There was definitely a little pull on the shirt. And you've just either got to go down naturally, or if you don't think that the pull on your shirt is strong enough to warrant a free kick, just play on. He's already in behind the player. If the referee blows his whistle there, he's got to book somebody.
Right.
I mean, at the end of the day, and you have to understand the interpretation of the rule. So, learning point there, and means he would be suspended and misses the next game as well.
Picked up a yellow card early in the campaign for dissent as well. So, not exactly how you want to be picking up yellow cards. These are all lessons for the young Francis Takardon. And you can see his capabilities to get in behind, though. Francis Takardon, always a threat. Even on that pass, he was looking to drift in behind.
Yeah, it's a real luxury that ADT have. They really do have players who are able to run off the ball really well, just like Takardon can. And their like for like is good. It's not exactly the same. Ocampo for Takardon is not the same, but it's still based off the same philosophies. They can still get in behind. So the players in the middle of the park don't need to adjust too much when they make changes out wide.
Rosquillo under pressure, clears it with the left foot.
And now we can hear the Maharlika that we're used to.
Peso trying to get past Rosquillo, just about able to do enough, the pair of him and Caloocaran, and a chance! And just like that, they have the lead of ADT. Sungmin Kim able to get a goal, and Quincy Camirad has been involved in a bit of a fracas here with some of the players of Maharlika Manila. He's trying to prevent the ball from being taken by the Maharlika players. And there it looks like there might have been some arms swung in that one. It'll be very interesting to see what kind of action the referee takes. And here is that moment, Rosquillo unable to deal with it. Falls for Gino. Puts the ball in, and Kim Sung-min doing what he does best. As you can see, Camirad already trying to delay the ball from being sent into the middle. And OJ and Kamerad have gotten involved. Kamerad going down, of course, but I'm not sure he was completely innocent as well in this one. Has there been a sending off?
Manila FC by player number 99, Kim Sung-min.
Looks like Quincy has been given a red card. And OJ Clarino has been sent into the book as well. Just waiting for confirmation here, but OJ seems to have been given a red as well. So down to 10 men are ADT, and their lead is just down to 1. OJ Clarino given a red card as well for his involvement in that exchange with Quincy Kamerad.
Yeah, well, there were definitely 2 people involved in the incident. You could just hear Maharlika's attitude change just in that passage of play. They were suddenly talking, pushing each other, jeering each other on in the higher third of the pitch. And when the ball went into the net, Kim converting the header, he went to pick up the ball and OJ's got himself involved with the goalkeeper and they scuffled, and of course the referee may or may not have had the best of views of that, and the referee just made the decision, you know what, send off both of the players.
So now ADT have lost their 2-goal cushion and they've lost their starting goalkeeper.
Substitution for Azkals development team. Player number 26, Martini Ray, replaced by
So Martini Ray has given way so that they can place Kyle Bayabos into the match. Woods. And Charlie Beaton putting in the tackle. So it is actually Bayabos for Martini Ray, not Quincy Kamerad. Interesting now with 20 minutes remaining, Darren.
I don't know who this favours. Does it favour a Maharlika team with momentum, or does it favour a fitter ADT team who will enjoy being able to play with more spacing around them? All I know is we never ever write off Maharlika Manila. They are most certainly a team which fights into the end of the game, and when they work together and they push each other on, they're quite a difficult outfit to play against.
We talked about the lack of involvement of Kim So-min, but that was a real glimpse of what he's capable of. Absent for 60 plus minutes and then pops up for the crucial intervention.
That's almost like a Berbatov role, isn't it? You know, he's been walking around the pitch and not had many touches, but when it comes to producing the quality, he produced the quality.
We're in for quite the finish here between Maharlika and ADT, as Epeso able to get past his man, looking for Kim. Tobias able to deal with that. Gino applying pressure for Maharlika.
What could be interesting as well is that I don't know if ADT can make any more substitutions. Unless they make a substitution at the same time as Maharlika. I'm not really sure how that worked, that substitution off the red cards. So it's interesting to see, because it's maximum of 5 substitutions, and they try to keep it, I think, to 3 stoppages a play, if I'm right, Jing.
That's right. 3 instances where you can stop the play to make substitutions. Chance here for ADT though. And that's a crucial stop from Bandek Fong.
And that is exactly what Bandek Fong does. He makes those big saves when Maharlika needs them. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see whether or not ADT will be allowed to make one more substitution in this game. Because that will tell. 20 minutes after already playing 70 minutes and then having extra space to cover.
Took it first time there. Takardon was trying to get on top of it. Azkals development team really looking for that insurance goal. Meanwhile, Maharlika are preparing another substitution. Kim can't believe the whistle wasn't blown there as he rose high to chest that ball. Not enough contact from in behind, said the referee. Eventually, the flag did go up for offside. Dennis Chung took a bit of a shot as a result. And here comes that substitution now for Maharlika as MJ Libre is coming on for Gino Clarino. We all know about MJ Libre's capability to create space. A real attacking threat is MJ Libre. Can he change the game here?
I think that's exactly the sort of person you want when the game is open with 20 minutes to go.
Epeso wriggles free inside the box, took the contact. No whistle from Mick John Pineda. The Maharlika bench can't believe what they just saw.
I actually think that the referee was just about to give a penalty there, but I don't think you can give the penalty after that shot's taken, if he's allowed the advantage to play through. Let's see if there's contact.
Definitely the knee of Rosquillo looked like it made contact with Epeso there. Mick John Pineda was right on top of the action as well.
And he was bringing his whistle to his mouth, and I think he took his whistle away after Maharlika took the shot. That would have been interesting.
Bullet dodged for ADT. Maharlika undeterred. They're looking to keep turning the screw here against the Azkals development team.
I think a point here for Maharlika would be quite big as well in terms of the league standings.
Especially with matches still to come against Stallion and Cebu. A point here against the side that is also looking for a top 4 finish would be massive indeed. Not on the same wavelength, but presented right back to him. Beaten gets it to Libre. Menzi launches it forward. Whistle in favor of Maharlika. It's getting a bit chippy now.
Well, it seems as if Maharlika have ADT rattled a little bit. I mean, ADT is not normally a team that reacts off these little 50-50s.
And these are the kind of challenges that you'd like to see the ADT face before their SEA Games campaign. Chance here! Kim Sung-min had cushioned that ball down. And that's an errant pass from Miggy. Gonna pen in ADT here. So many numbers forward for Maharlika. That means not a lot are back defending it. It could be one-on-one here between Chung and Menzi. Looking to breeze past, and he does. Chung squares it. Off the crossbar. And no second opportunity for ADT. Maharlika let off the hook.
And that's the one that you need to convert. That puts the game beyond Maharlika, in my opinion. And now Maharlika on the counter-attack.
Epeso lifts it. Kim Sung-min. Can it drop for MJ? Yes, it does. Kim. Libre. And the whistle is blown there. Libre would have wanted that, and he had a one-on-one with his marker. But it's going to be a free kick outside the box.
It's almost like Maharlika have got about 10 coaching staff on there. Every single player in their pink vests are just screaming out information.
And there's going to be a conversation here between Mick John Pineda and the linesman.
Yeah, that's whether or not the foul was before or after the offside. So
definitely before. So maybe that's why they didn't not allow the play to continue, as there was no advantage as Libre was offside. And here's that moment. Definitely contact there. Saavedra clipped. And they said Libre was offside. So here we are. Conversation between Charlie Beaton, Sung-min Kim, and Usman Jeng. Who's going to win out here?
Be interesting to see whether or not Charlie Beaton's high enough in the hierarchy there to take it, because I know he's quite handy on free kicks.
And he definitely ventured towards the ball very quickly as soon as that foul was called. Can there be a hero here for Maharlika? Charlie Beaton steps over. Kim Sung-min into the wall. They're looking for handball. Mick John ignores the calls. And play continues. And this time the whistle is blown. And there is going to be, for a moment, looked like he was going to put out a yellow card. One more look at it here. Definitely a handball from Francis Takardon.
But I don't think that's the handball they wanted. They wanted that handball off the free kick. And that's all going to come down to the new rules and whether or not to do with the arm placement. And it all gets very complicated and it happens so fast.
Mick John Pineda has been cast into the spotlight here as we find ourselves with 10 minutes remaining. The game has turned on its head. What looked like ADT cruising to a victory has now...
I think the word you used was cushion, is the word you used.
Maharlika making a game of this now. Usman Jeng on target! Spilled momentarily, but nobody there to gobble it up for Maharlika.
That's all you can really do there is ask a question from the goalkeeper. That's not the best throw out. He's going to put him straight under pressure.
Kalokaran doing very well to handle that. Was put in a precarious position. And it's getting really tense now here in Carmona, Cavite. The fans really enjoying themselves now. And that was the momentary spill. Chung looking to turn lawless, and he does. Oof! Another point blank miss for ADT.
It's fallen to the same player as well. You've really got to do better from there.
Goodness me. What a chance for ADT. Makiling will be scratching his head. How did that not go on target? BS confidently done. And finds Makiling as well. Takardon in all kinds of room. And it was an interesting idea there from Makiling.
There was a slight delay, couldn't really get the ball through to the first two runners, but this game has been really contested. I mean, been a lot of fouls, but it's been a lot of good battles all over the pitch, and I think there's still going to be a goal in this game, Jing. I wouldn't like to say who it's going to come from, but it's definitely going to be a goal in this game. It's so open. If you're just tuning in now, both teams have been reduced to 10 men.
Over the top for Libre. Rosquillo and Tobias closing the door just in time. The fans are on their feet. No chance for a bit of calm as both sides are going end to end now. Menzi seems to have hurt himself in the tackle. And here was the challenge from Michael Menzi. It seems it's a bit of self-inflicted damage. Needs to recover quickly here, as it's Francis Takardon that he needs to mark, and he's been open quite a bit. JV Caloocaran gets it to a teammate. Takardon running at Menzi. Cuts inside once more. Feeds Bias. Can he find the back of the net? Looks to lift it, but it's over the bar.
Yeah, ADT are doing well to put these little passages of play nice and quick going forwards, but I'd like to see a little bit more game management. I feel like just get their foot on the ball, show some maturity, make sure that they understand what the game scenario is. It's 10v10, there's 6 minutes on the clock, and they're winning 2-1, and they keep inviting Maharlika back to them every time they attack so quickly.
Libre looking to sneak in behind. Epeso. There's going to be a foul called. Libre bouncing in on the back of the defender. Little shove there on Caloocaran. Regardless, Epeso's attempt was well off target anyway. Entering the final 5 minutes, and we're in for quite the finish here. Chong waiting for a bit of support, unable to get in between the two defenders, and a chance here for Woods on the volley once more, but couldn't get any power on it. Sungmin Kim, good hold up play. Saavedra spreads it. Epeso delivers the pass. Sungmin Kim just let down by his first touch there.
They've done everything right there. It's a great build-up play. Just a touch on the edge of the box, but still Maharlika trying to put an attack together. That could be a free kick.
Libre giving away possession there, as Makiling put in a timely challenge. The nervous moments here for both sets of players. Nice turn from Makiling. Saavedra nipping at his heels. No run there from Takardon. Not often you see a goalkeeper take a throw in. Van Dek and Fong eager to get things going. Lawless launching it forward. And BS nipping in just in time. Fantastic work from Oli BS. And that one out of bounds for Miggy Clarino.
And now ADT are calling for a little bit of game management and just slow it down. Got to make Maharlika work to get back on the ball.
BS. He's been the calm that ADT have been looking for. He gets it out wide to Makiling. That's a strong challenge from Libre. Makiling unable to keep that in play, but referee says last touch on Miggy. 2 minutes remaining in regulation. There's been quite a few substitutions and a few stoppages of play, so we're expecting quite a few minutes to be added on. Lovely ball from Woods. Chung onside. He goes for goal, and there it is, the third for ADT, and that might be the nail in the coffin.
I think the coaching staff of Maharlika will look back on that and be disappointed with all the work that they put in, because it's a little bit of a, with the referee's positional play, stop Maharlika from defending the build-up properly. But I mean, take nothing away from Dennis Chong's finish.
A lovely ball from Scott Woods as well to get it out wide. And there it is. Out wide to Chung, who's definitely onside from that angle. And here we see it, some clever play from the attacker. No excuse for Bendek and Fong really at his near post, but it snuck in there, and it's an all-important third for ADT.
Yeah, all three frontmen of ADT have scored today, and two of them have been at the near post. And at this level, the goalkeeper's really got to make sure that his near post is covered. Easier said than done when you're playing against a player like Dennis Chong, because he's got his head up all the time. But Maharlika will feel a little bit hard done by that they haven't been able to at least keep it at 2-1 and keep the game alive in these last few minutes.
Beaten, strong tackle from behind. 4 minutes to be added on. Maharlika will have had the wind knocked out of their sails there. They were knocking on the door, Darren. They were getting close too.
I thought we were going to see a repeat of that Minjola game where they managed to bring it back after being 1-0 down here. They would have been 2-0 down and brought it back, but it wasn't to be today. They definitely made a fight of it though, Jing. It was a really entertaining second half. Had everything really. Penalty appeals not given. A red card, 2 red cards, and plenty of opportunities. We could see another opportunity here.
Chong spreads it. Takardon blazes it over. First touch was good. Finish left wanting. Maharlika still playing here. Still looking to get back on the score sheet. Epeso. Just beyond Kim Sung Min. Lovely piece of skill here from Caloocaran. Lawless has gone down for Maharlika, but the play has continued, and it's Takardon lifting it. And it's another wasted opportunity for ADT.
Oliver BS has been absolutely everywhere in the second half, especially when both sides went down to 10 men and they had more ground that they need to cover. That's a good ball there from Scott Woods, just picking out the run of Takardon, but couldn't quite lift it over the goalkeeper. Good movement though. His movement's been really good since he was introduced.
That would have been the icing on the cake. And it's going to need a stretcher here, Chris Lawless. A bad case of the cramps as we are deep into added time. Looks like another substitution is being readied as Factoranan is about to come on for the injured Chris Lawless. There is the substitution. Factoranan making his way onto the pitch. Not going to have too much time to express himself, however. Miggy looking to launch that into the path of Kim. And again, good defending being shown there by Rosquillo. One final attack perhaps here for ADT. Just look, taking the sting out of the game here, ADT. And something that you mentioned, Darren, that they might have been able to employ a little bit earlier into the game. Whistle looming now from Mick John Pineda. And there it is, full-time whistle is blown and job done for the Azkals development team, who pick up an important win here against a valiant Maharlika Manila, who really put on a great fight here. Both teams down to 10 men, so much drama, great entertainment at the end, but ADT take the win and they take the 3 points.
I really enjoyed watching that game unfold, especially the second half. There was lots of incidents to talk about, and that's what football's all about, really. Every game should have its own little story, and what a little story this game had. The game where Maharlika almost got themselves back out of being 2-0 down at half time. There was a lot of factors that come into play, but I think it was really the pace of the game and the opportunities that extra pace that ADT created, which really was the difference between the two sides. But Maharlika, when they put in the work, started working together, and they come together as a team, did cause ADT some problems. Physicality was there, and just unfortunate really conceding that third goal, which really put the game beyond them.
One thing is for sure, you can never count out Maharlika Manila in any match, regardless of the scoreline or the number of personnel on the pitch. They are going to fight until the very end, and they showed that once again. Had a few penalty shots that I'm sure they will be disappointed about. Epeso in particular with perhaps a real grievance with the referee. But all in all, entertainment all around, and ADT passing an important test against this physical Maharlika Manila side. As we take a look at some of the highlights from this match. Started off quite nicely for Maharlika, and then ADT really got their foot in the game and started to dictate proceedings, and got themselves on the score sheet shortly after they threatened with this one from Lance Ocampo. Then it was Jeremy Darapan. Bit of good fortune that led to Oliver BS racing towards goal and tucking it away into the bottom corner. That set the tone for ADT. Then Lance Ocampo, this time again free on the right flank. This time did not square it and got Fong wrong-footed to make it 2-0. From this point on, it looked like cruise control from ADT. Looked like they were able to almost add to that tally as well, and it was one-way traffic altogether. Chung as well had a fantastic chance early in the second half. Woods as well. And then everything changed. Jaime Rosquillo unable to deal with it. Epesa making a nuisance of himself. And then Kim Sung-min. Bam. And then a bit of madness that happened after that. Let's take a look at the goal once more. This was what created a bit of a melee inside the goal. After that, Camarad, desperate to keep that ball away from Maharlika. 2 red cards ensued, but this was what sealed it. Actually, not that one. That was off the crossbar. They had a few of those up close. Dennis Chung again feeding Makiling this time. BS had an opportunity as well. Maharlika staying resolute, but it could only keep ADT out for so long. Chung sneaking that into the near post, and that did it for ADT, winning it 3-1 on the night. Impressive victory from the young Azkals. And we have with us our man of the match. Let's check in with Oliver Bias.
Congratulations on the win. Talk us through the game and your goal.
Thank you. I think it was a hard game, but we started very well. We scored 2 goals, but during the second half, I think we let the opponent get more on the ball. That's why we conceded the 2-1. And then the game got heated because of the 2 red cards as well. So it was quite hard to keep control of the game. But luckily Dennis scored the 3-1, so it was a bit more relaxed for us then.
How?
Another player is free, so you can pass the ball and keep it moving faster.
And what does this mean for you and the boys, knowing that this is probably your last game before you head out for your preparation for the SEA Games?
Of course, it gave us motivation, so we wanted to finish strong and we wanted to finish with a win, and I think we did that.
And lastly, your message here.
Thank you for supporting the Copa Paulino Alcantara, and I hope you will keep on supporting all the following matches. Thank you very much.
Our man of the match, Oliver BS there, capping off a fantastic performance from him and from ADT. And as he mentioned, this fills them up with confidence as they make their way to the SEA Games. Darren, your final thoughts on this game?
Well, apart from really enjoying the second half, I think it was a real learning point for Maharlika in terms of how they prepare for these games. Because when you look at possession-wise, they definitely did something better in the second half than they did in the first half. But credit to the coaching staff for making the adjustments at half-time, because they've made a big swing in possession. They've created opportunities and shots, and I feel like ADT have really benefited from the game as well in terms of that little extra cohesion going forwards. They look like a completely different side to the side that started this Alcantara Cup, and I really hope that they can continue that progress into the SEA Games, and I wish them the best of luck.
19 shots, 13 on target for the Azkals development team. It was that kind of game, but Maharlika Manila really made it a contest to savor. But in the end, no points for Maharlika Manila despite the effort they put in, and the Azkals development team will now travel to Malaysia in a couple of days before flying out to Vietnam for the SEA Games. The Copa Paulino Alcantara action continues next week on the 2nd of May with a powerhouse match between Stallion Laguna FC and Kaya FC Iloilo. That's going to be an interesting one, and that will be followed up by the second match of Dynamic Herb Cebu, who were in action earlier today and got that win that they have been looking for. So plenty of action to look forward to next week in the Copa Paulino Alcantara, and we look forward to having you with us once again. From our partner Darren Hartman, my name is Jing Hamlang. Good night.
first goal of the match.